Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today I want to talk about this story out of the city of Portland that I find to be absolutely tragic. However, it is very indicative of the realities of crime, much more so than what the left wing sells us about the criminal being an innocent Beba Angel Aladdin deserving of 25 million second chances, because in this particular instance, a teenager who had bone cancer, who ended up having to amputate his leg, who was wearing a prosthetic, ended up getting that prosthetic stolen in the city of Portland, because of course that's what people do in the city of Portland. They act like thugs and they target the most vulnerable. Now we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
Atticus Root has battled bone cancer on and off since he was 13. We first met Root in 2019 after he had his left leg amputated above the knee.
It wasn't really that hard of a decision to make. It's either my life or an amputation.
So first of all, I just want to comment on the attitude of this kid right here who made a very blunt, very basic risk calculation saying, hey, look, I mean, I lost my leg. I lost it at 13. I understand that I am upset about it, and a lot of people are upset about it, but it wasn't a complicated decision for me to make because essentially I either had to lose my leg or lose my life, and I like my life better than I like my leg. Again, a very straight up, very normal response, honestly, a little more coherent of a response than you would expect from such a young man who has had to go through such adversity. But of course, this is the city of Portland, so beating cancer, achieving this goal, ending up getting yourself a prosthetic leg, fighting against the American healthcare system to do so, it's not going to be enough of a hurdle for you to overcome, because an innocent Beba Angel Aladdin criminal needs to have that leg more than you, because honestly, you're a little bit privileged because you're still a white person. Now, without going off on too much of a tangent, I would be remiss to point out that Ted Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, the guy who allowed Antifa to riot over and over and over again across his city, who is the mayor and police commissioner in the city of Portland, which is crazy in my opinion, allowed that to occur, and on his outgoing statement said that he had to deal with all this stuff, but then things got really crazy when these Antifa Black Lives Matter rioters showed up at his house.
You know, this had an effect on your personal life too. I mean, you had a condo in Northwest Portland. There were demonstrations outside. You ended up leaving that condo. You were married at the time. You're not now. Just talk about how that affected you personally, that period of time and the fallout from it.
Yeah, it's a strange thing being a pariah. I was born and raised in this community. I have plenty of friends here, plenty of support. And so it was strange to find myself being a true pariah in the community. I had people on the far right saying I was a member of Antifa, and they selectively showed shots from that time I went down to meet with the protesters as proof that I was an Antifa standing at the gate attacking the federal building. And then I had people on the far left, those who actually were in Antifa, calling me a clone of Donald Trump. So we had sort of these two completely divergent views of who I was. It was hard to have my home firebombed, to have my daughter threatened and chased to school, to have my tires slashed, to have people standing in front of my house. On some nights it would be people on the far left. On other nights it would be people holding rifles in front of my daughter's bedroom window. Nobody should have to put up with that. And frankly, when I took office, I said, well, this all just comes with the territory. And I thought of it in that light. But with time, I've come to realize it doesn't come with the territory. It's not the right place to adjudicate differences of public policy. We have city council, we have chambers, we have open communications, and I encourage people to use those tools and not resort to violence when it comes to political differences.
And of course, that is the kind of attitude that these people have that are in power in the city of Portland, where they don't give a damn about the people who are victimized by criminals unless it directly affects them. You could riot and destroy Portland, steal all these different things, but the left-wing progressives in Portland aren't going to do a damn thing for you unless, of course, it impacts them, or you can actually shame them for this, and they should be shamed into catching and prosecuting this criminal.
Root said he received chemotherapy for osteosarcoma found in his femur. His mother, Irene Veldstra, telling us with cancer, you have little control.
I think as moms, we try to we want to have a magic wand and fix it, and we can't.
Now, I know a lot of people are going to look directly at this mother and immediately assume that this is a woke left-wing progressive due to the fact that she has a shaved head, but I will point out for all of you guys that her son has cancer, and a lot of times people end up shaving their heads in solidarity with somebody that is going through chemotherapy because their hair ends up coming out, and they don't want them to feel as weird or as unusual as many of people tend to feel when they end up losing their hair. So just hold up on that assertion right there. Everybody calm down. I know she has the glasses, but let's be honest. This is a mother. She is in Portland. She may vote Democrat. That doesn't really matter to me. Her son had cancer and his prosthetic leg got stolen. And to me, that is the focus of this rather than the political sins of her voting history that I know some of you, and I mean some of you, are going to write about in the comments. I don't want people who are left-wing to be victimized by criminals. I don't want people who are right-wing to be victimized by criminals. One of the reasons why on this channel we talk about black crime is because typically the victims of black crime are black people themselves. Why we talk about crime in Latino communities is because the victims of those crimes are Latino themselves. We're not trying to throw these people under the bus just because they may visually, even though I just explained why she probably has a shaved head, they look like people who may disagree with us. Get it? Got it? Good. Let's move on.
Soon after this, Atticus received a prosthetic, complete with a leg, knee, and running blade similar to this one. It was custom made to fit his body, costing about $8,000. It also came as a huge disappointment when the family says someone broke into his car in downtown Portland as Atticus was having dinner nearby.
They talk about the leg, how it costs $8,000 in order to be made for him, and this leg in particular was customized so that he would be able to run. So for those of you who are wondering why the leg was in the trunk when he was having dinner in a restaurant, it's because this isn't the normal, typical thing that he would utilize to walk around every day. This is specifically so he can engage in sports, so he can actually live a normal teenage lifestyle. So it was kept in the trunk with other equipment, but of course in the city of Portland, no trunk is safe, no property is safe. So even though this is custom fit for him, somebody stole this from him, probably ended up throwing it out when they realized that they couldn't sell it, because again, who else are you going to sell it to other than the person who happens to match all of his parameters for this custom job? And that is really terrible. It's really horrible, but it is very indicative of the realities of crime, that oftentimes those who are victimized are the most vulnerable, are the most impacted. And by the way, we talk all the time about how crime drives poverty, not the other way around. Let's say you don't get the attention that this case ended up getting. Let's say people don't feel bad for you and raise money, and you are out $8,000 for something, and you have to put up the money for that $8,000 in order to pay for it. That is going to devastate the average normal person in the United States of America, let alone somebody who has to constantly be worried about cancer re-emerging in their body, which is a possibility for this guy.
They popped the trunk, and his leg was in the trunk, and that got stolen along with some of his work equipment. His welding bag that he had for work and stuff got stolen as well.
Atticus's uncle, Joshua Veldstra, and his wife set up a GoFundMe page to help cover the costs of a new prosthetic.
So yeah, this is a teenager who's been through a lot. He obviously lost his leg at 13. He's very matter of fact about the fact that it was worth it in order to preserve his life, but he works as a welder. He had his welding equipment in there, which was also stolen. This is the stuff that is likely to be able to be resold, and this is just a regular, ordinary kid who happened to have cancer, who wants a leg so that he can run around and do ordinary teenage stuff, but that was deprived from him by these people, by these criminals, however many of them ended up stealing from him, and of course the city that placates those criminals, that talks about how, oh, well, his welding tools that he actually uses to make a living, how he feeds himself, those are going to be better suited to whatever insane drug addict, repeat offender criminal stole them from him. So honestly, you're helping out somebody who just was victimized by society all the more. Now, of course, they talk about the GoFundMe for this individual, for this kid. Part of the reason why we're doing this story, let's be perfectly honest, it is Christmas time. It is the time of year for generosity. And I know if I link this GoFundMe in the description, that some of you out there will donate to him. And if you have it in your hearts, if you can afford it, please do so, because this kid has been through a lot. And of course, the system that is Portland is disastrous for average everyday people and for the most vulnerable.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
Again, this kid is absolutely devastated by this loss, although he's stone facing it like a man. But I'm talking about the financial devastation of this, of not just the leg, but the equipment. And of course, in a city like Portland, where they're likely never going to catch this criminal. They're likely going to have this criminal repeat offend over and over and over again. So I will give you guys the opportunity to try to contribute, again, if you can afford it. No pressure. This is not me trying to attack you if you don't do so, or if you don't care, because, you know, it's just a kind thing to do.
Knowing it's one small thing they can do to help.
He was starting to feel a lot better with everything, with his leg, and it's just like, it just seems like you can't catch a break type of situation.
Look, I fully agree with this guy's assessment. When I watched this story, when I went over the details of this particular case, I also got that feeling that this kid just can't catch a break. Again, he took cancer like a champ. He very matter-of-factly said he would happily give up his leg for his life, and people got together. They ended up getting him this prosthetic so he could live a normal life, but some criminal, some thug, some Aladdin innocent baby angel, according to the left wing, stole that from him, and it would be nice if people could restore that. That being said, it would also be nice if we had information on the suspect, if we could bring this person to justice, if we can name him and shame him, because if you're going to steal a prosthetic from a kid that had cancer, what kind of monster are you? And unfortunately, these stories I've seen reported multiple different times across this country because people, these criminals, have no conscience. They have no regard for humanity, which is one of the reasons why I'm so against this idea of hyper talking about the circumstances or whatever when they don't give a damn about any of the people's circumstances that they rob, that they negatively impact. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like this video, then show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social medias, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a robber stealing a prosthetic leg from a cancer survivor. Till next time.